All right.
Fix my hair.
Fix
All right.
my hair.
Looks
Get
great.
some hair.
Looks really great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well coiffed.
Friday the 3rd, a little bit of rain. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Going to go out and watch some golf?
I'm going to go check it out today. Yeah, I haven't been out there in a few years, so I'm going to go check it out.
Good. Well, have fun.
Yep.
I have one quick question for you. Because it probably didn't make the Pine Cone because they were already in publication.
Okay.
But do you know the score of the 7th grade middle school girls basketball game yesterday?
You know I'm a
between
middle school basketball
Pacific
aficionado.
Grove Breakers and the Carmel, I guess they're Padres as well.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Pacific Grove won, and the score was, I don't know, 42-30.
Oof. No, they did win again, second week in a row. Carmel kids look great, but they were dominated by the Pacific Grove Breakers.
What was the score?
21-16.
Oh, wow. Low scoring affair.
Yeah.
A defensive effort.
Totally.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and the Dennis Rodman of my household was
Did Rocket
the
get her first basket yet?
She didn't. It went around the rim, around the rim.
It'll come.
Yeah, we'll get there. So, congratulations to
good job, Breakers.
Good sportsmanship on both sides, and they're really evenly matched teams.
Good.
So I think the kids had fun. So, all right, that's what I got. No, that's actually not.
That's your update.
That's the trivia. Thank you to everyone who came to the City Council Priority Goal Setting Workshop on Tuesday. I talked for 6 hours straight. I didn't have any words left when I got home, but really a lot of good input. More public than we've seen in the recent past. Thank you all so much for your input, and council did a great job. Of course, that was really largely a listening session, and so we'll bring back maybe at the March agenda what we heard from council vis-a-vis which items to elevate from kind of the back burner or the B list, if you will, of priorities to the A list. So.
And then what that does is that feeds into, because we're almost into budget season, that list of things to do then feeds into the budget, because then we have to basically say, here's what it costs to do these things. And then we'll have those conversations with council and the public as well.
Exactly. So looking forward to it. So thank you all. And then just my other note is that sometimes some of our AT&T guests get a little bit rambunctious. So we do have extra police officers. Thank you, Carmel PD, for everything you do for our safety and our visitor safety. But again, if you see something, say something, please don't hesitate to call the emergency number if you think something is happening that's not safe. And thank you to all our visitors who conduct themselves in a safe and responsible manner. How's that?
That was great.
Thanks.
That was great.
That's what I got.
So I just want to let everybody know we've got a couple of big document launches over the next week. The first is we're going to have our first public draft of the Design Traditions 1.5 update. So this is an update to the design guidelines in the residential district and the commercial district.
Why is it called 1.5?
It's an excellent question, Chip. So if you recall, when we started out on this endeavor almost a year ago now, there was a lot of conversation with City Council about what to call it. Design Traditions 2.0, Design Traditions 1.5, and where we landed on with 1.5 is actually very intentional, because we are not blowing up and starting from new with the design guidelines. In fact, we have really good bones of design guidelines. We're refreshing, renewing, updating. So that's where the 1.5 comes from. So the draft that's going to go out on the street next week, you're going to see a lot of what you've seen in the existing guidelines right now. It's going to be red font. You're going to see where things have been added. A lot of new, formatting, things to help guide the reader through.
And new graphics.
New graphics, strengthening language. That was one of the big things that we heard from all the community meetings was all those shoulds and appropriates. Those should be shalls and musts kind of things. So that's going to be some of the big changes.
Great.
I just want to assure everyone that the draft that goes out, this is really intended to be a public working draft. We have a lot of process left to go.
Yep.
So we're going to roll out the draft. We're going to meet with our steering committee on it. We're going to have another community workshop in Carpenter Hall on the draft. We're going to go to the Planning Commission with the draft, City Council with the draft, and then based on all of that feedback that's a span of like a month and a half, we're going to do another draft. So we're going to take feedback and we'll redraft this first draft, and then, believe it or not, come back for more public meetings on that second draft. So lots of opportunity for people to work on it with us still. We're hoping more and more people get engaged now that we're going to have an actual draft to comment on and think about. And just also as a reminder, we've been keeping a sort of next steps list throughout this, because just because we adopt the design guidelines and Nori Winter's contract is over, doesn't mean the project is necessarily over.
Right.
There's still stuff to do.
Right.
The city will be, looking at how we can accomplish that on that next steps list that we're developing.
Landscape ordinance is the next step.
Exactly. Additional, application materials, documents, things like that.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this process. It's been wonderful. Tons of great community feedback, and I'm hoping to get even more when we roll this out next week.
Wonderful.
To that end, we do have a steering committee meeting on Monday, 2:30 here in the chambers, virtual and in person, so please come and join us. It's the continuation of last week's meeting. We didn't finish because we talked for a long while on landscaping, which was a really good, fruitful conversation. So come and join us for that. And then the other big document launch next week is going to be the long-awaited redraft of the city's wireless ordinance. I'm really excited again about that process. It's been great. We launched a draft ordinance package several months ago. We got a ton of feedback from the community, and based on that feedback, we sort of went back internal and did some reworking of it. Like for example, the first launch was 3 separate ordinances. We've combined that down into one. That was one of the big pieces of feedback we received. We have actually met more than once with third-party counsel, Mr. Andrew Campanelli, who was touted by many of our residents as someone that we should be working with. So we have consulted with him and our own telecom lawyer to go through those drafts and see, where we can find some commonalities between the draft that the community had or members of the community had Mr. Campanelli draft, and what we put together. So that's been a wonderful process. We're actually meeting with him one more time next week before the draft goes out. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. And again, working draft, we're going to have a Planning Commission special workshop meeting on March 1st at 5:00 p.m.
Happy March.
Happy March. This is the way I like to start my March, is with the wireless ordinance. But again, it's working draft. We're going to take feedback from the workshop, and if we need to change something. So when you get the draft ordinance for wireless, please work with us in a collaborative spirit in sharing your comments with us. Plainly said, just be nice, please.
It's a good life lesson.
Yeah, we just want to work together with people on this.
Right on.
Yeah, so that's what we got going on. It's an exciting week next week. A lot of big initiatives and projects coming to a milestone moment.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Kind of what is it? A kind of a Y in the crossroads, or
I would say.
Or right on.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Well done.
Thank
Well done to
Yep.
you and your team.
It's been a huge team effort. I can take very little credit for it.
Oh, hardly. You should take all
I don't
the
think so,
majority of
but-
the leadership credit for it. So, all right, enough about us.
Yep.
Take good
Take
care.
good care.